Hi everyone, welcome to the Document 6 discussion of our 2023 peer release series. Alright, so here we have an email from the Chief Financial Officer, and that is Sigal. So you can see the subject, it's tax returns for 2022. Okay, so let's see what they want. Already from the subject, you can see that it is a technical trigger, but remember we said at this point we're not identifying technical triggers, we are not identifying specific triggers, but we are reading with an intention of understanding the entity. So don't just see the tax return subject and immediately conclude that they're going to ask you to complete a tax return. Wait for the information and assess what exactly is expected or what is happening when it comes to the tax of the company. So Sigal says, hi there, almost forgot to fill you in on our tax matters. Right, the deadline for submission of our tax return for 2022 is the end of this month, which is close. Remember, you're joining at the beginning of the month and the deadline is at the end of this month. So you're already thinking this is one of the tasks that you're going to be asked to prioritize. All right, let's see, apart from handling the accounting function, Tanya also assisted with all tax matters. This included the filing of returns on time and the reporting on our tax numbers in the financial statements. Unfortunately, she left before we could submit the income tax return. Okay, we know that Tanya left as we discussed previously on document 3. Right, so with the deadline looming, I've asked Julia to step in and handle this matter. He has promised to send me his calculation of our income tax liability as soon as possible. Okay, we know that we are expecting an income tax liability, but what is the expectation from our end? So Sigal asks, can I ask you to also step up and assist as your tax knowledge is probably more up to date than mine? I will forward these calculations to you as soon as I receive them. Cool. So we know that we are going to, at some point, we're going to be asked to assist with reviewing the income tax liability calculation. The at some point we're referring to is on the day. So what do you do now? There's no need to panic because you don't have the numbers. You can prepare even though the numbers are going to be provided on the actual exam day, which is days later in the scenario. So first thing that you need to do, as we've been emphasizing, start with the bigger picture. What am I dealing with here? I know I'm in tax, but what exactly in tax? It's income tax liability. Then at that point, you're going to remember that, oh, I know there's actually a specific structure that we use when we want to calculate income tax liability. So how do you prepare? You go back and revise those principles. Sit down with the income tax liability structure. We all know that structure where we say, first, for example, gross income, less exemptions, then that gives you income, less deductions. So you can start visualizing it already. Say that, I don't have the numbers at this point, but the best way I can revise is I'm going to revise the fundamental principles. As we always say, take it back to the basics. Go back to the basics of calculating income tax liability. Revise the principles. And then you can already see which numbers are going to be included in the income tax liability calculation of on time. Because why? You have the financial statements. You can already go back to the financial statements. Look at the line items that we have. For example, you can see the revenue from the flights. Then you can already link that to gross income inclusion principles. You can see the expenses that we have on the financial statement of profit or loss. You can already link that to your deductibility principles that we cover when you look at the income tax liability calculation. We know that one of the key items that we have here is leases. So when you think of those special transactions or that special items that can be included in your income tax liability, you start thinking about the impact of these leases on your income tax liability. So what we are learning from this task is that there's never a time where you say, oh, I didn't prepare for this task because I didn't have enough information. That's not accurate. You can't say I did not prepare because it said the numbers were not provided and they were only going to be provided on the day. What you do while you wait for the numbers is that you go back and revise the principles so that on the day you already have your skeleton and you're just filling in the numbers that relate to the company. And this is something that we emphasize in our sessions. And on that note, I would like to quickly tell you what one of our candidates said about the method that we use to emphasize these principles. Okay, so we got a nice review from one of our candidates from 2023, and he said, this is the best support program to successfully pass APC. Script review is comprehensive and the team is patient and adjusts according to your needs, and also the additional practice lessons that is made according to your needs to ensure that you improve areas that you lack in. So this is one of the testimonies that we have received, and I wanted to share so that you can see that we're not just preaching theory, but the methods that we suggest in these sessions actually work. All right, this brings us to the end of document 6. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video. If you have any questions, please comment down below and we'll address your questions. Thank you.